Welcome to the Sci-Fi Center, the place to be, where comic books and wrestling collide magically. Movies, TV shows, and pop culture we share. Get ready to rock, we're here to take you there. From superheroes to aliens in outer space, we've got the latest news and reviews in our embrace. Turn on your screen, let the neon lights glow. We'll take you back to the 80s. Let's rock and roll. Sci-Fi Center, where the legends come alive. Get ready to geek out, let your imagination thrive. We're diving into the past with a touch of modern flair. Sci-Fi Center, the ultimate pop culture lair. Calm down and get your teeth to gift at the Sci-Fi Center. We got almost everything a geek could want at the Sci-Fi Center. You name it, we got it. Star Trek, Star Wars, Marvel, DC, and everything in between at the Sci-Fi Center.
Happy Thursday, pretty much. We got about 8 more minutes left in Wednesday. But hey, welcome to the Midnight Express. I'm your host, William Powell. How is everybody doing tonight? We got the final Superman trailer, which I thought this should have been the first one, but that's just me, to talk about, as well as some popcorn buckets. Unmuted Superman, obviously, so I could, take a look at some things, get news about, relevant stuff, and, the internet never fails me. I will still contend to this day. Online Superman movie fans are some of the worst people occupying space on planet Earth right now. All right, so I'm going to wait for our maybe I should lie about the time we're starting to get Brad here on time. Hey, who knows? All right, well, let's say hi to the chat. And we'll watch the trailer when he gets there. So let me go ahead and get everything queued up. Got the popcorn buckets and stuff queued up, and I will be getting the Krypto bucket. I wish I could get them wholesale, but yeah. All right. I can see we got Australians all throughout the chat. Clinton, how you doing? Droga. Let's see. Yeah, I did. That was probably my favorite part of the trailer right there. Yep, hit like and subscribe. Yeah, pretty much. I don't know what winning is for anybody, though. I mean, if you're on the internet to win something, you probably need to reevaluate things. All right. Last but not least. All right. We are just going to go ahead and jump into the trailer because why not?
Yeah, and this actually is the one I think has the most meat to it in terms of like what we could break down, story wise and character wise, and even franchise wise.
It should have been the first one, but like I said,
this is the best of all of them. So
I don't control such things. This is coming to you straight from DC's website. So here we go.
We're gonna get William now.
Man. The most powerful being on planet Earth.
We finally meet.
Now, as planned, I'll destroy you. And of course, that reporter you always do interviews with. Who raised you as a child? I'll kill them too.
No matter what you do to me, Luther, your plans won't work.
Wrap it up.
Good luck with that.
Make a move, Big Blue.
Buckle up.
They chose him. Let them die.
Hey! Quit messing around!
I'm not messing around. I'm doing important stuff.
I really could have done without that line.
Hey, buddy. Eyes up here.
All right.
Yeah, so that was. I thought that trailer was actually pretty strong.
Go ahead and go, Brad.
Right up until that line about I'm busy doing stuff like god. I mean it reminds me of the point when I started thinking like MCU movies are like getting overly comedic, where it's like they have to just plug a one-liner or plug a punchline in everything. That's what that felt like to me. It's like, it's like I'm busy, I'm doing important stuff. Like, oh man, it's like you were doing so good, and then you had to drop that.
Well, I expect the movie to be that way because that's his style. He uses dialogue in his movies. His fight scenes that he has for both companies do have a lot of dialogue. So that's befitting of his style. Plus, it's a trailer. The context of dialogue in a trailer is kind of pointless. It's just something to get you going. The same stuff I liked about the other trailer, I liked about this one. There is some awe-inspiring stuff in there. I'll have to see the movie to see how it unfolds. I do like the 360 thing with the beam. That's cool. That's probably the coolest thing I've seen in any of the trailers that have come out. This is a violent movie. I mean, this is a violent, destructive movie, which is okay for me. The elements, the characters in there, I'll need to see obviously the 208 minutes the 2 hours and 8 minutes to see where Mr. Terrific fits in, where Guy Gardner fits in order to, judge them as far as I can't judge them as far as the trailers goes. Music's all right. This like I said, this was a trailer that I was looking for back maybe in February. But it's fine that it's out now because, like I said, I guess they're just going to inundate us with everything. Personally, you're not going to get me any more excited to see the movie. I'm a comic book guy. I'm already in. I've already purchased my ticket. I'm renting out a theater, so this fucking movie better be good. Lex Luthor. I think Lex Luthor is the strongest casting that I can tell from the trailer.
Yeah, and I told William before we came on, it's like after this trailer, I'm actually now thinking that he is actually the main villain. That they're not like hiding the main villain. I think the way he's sort of orchestrating everything it feels very okay, like he's in the captain's chair as far as the villains go.
that's violent. When you're wiping out,
When like punches the one guy in his teeth fly at the camera,
your
which
teeth are hitting the fucking the lens. I think that's
which I mean, I hope that guy is metahuman because that's also like, I
he
mean,
just
like,
got hit by a super dog and a superhuman.
yeah. So it's like, I mean, if he because he's got a flying suit on of some kind, so if you look closely, you can actually see it has like an LC, so like LexCorp logo on it. So I mean, I'm guessing he's human, and Superman just really held back on that punch, because if he didn't, he would have decapitated him.
It depends on if Lex Luthor may be manufacturing metahuman suit. What do I think Kevin Smith's top? Thank you for the super chat, Ray. What do I think Kevin Smith's top 3 priority slate projects would be if he was CEO of DC Studios? I love Kevin Smith and I respect Kevin Smith, but I think I don't want to ever see him. Remember, he had a part to play in the whole the Nicolas Cage thing. So yeah, I don't know if he's a great creator, but I wouldn't want to see Kevin Smith. This is just personally, and this is not a knock against Kevin Smith. I think he is a creator. I think he's a director. I think he's a filmmaker. I would need at least 10 layers of people above him to say no, yes to this. But I think Superman would have been a top one for him. I think Green Lantern. I'm just basing this right on the work I've seen him do. I also think he would take an abstract character, like maybe a Shade to Change Me. I could see Kevin Smith doing Vertigo projects as well. I could see him doing a Jonah Hex. So I think he would do a Superman. I think he would do like a Batman, but I also think he might switch one of those out for like a Preacher or a Jonah Hex type character or a Constantine. So this is just based on what I've seen him do.
Mighty Rex thinks he could pull off Teen Titans.
Yeah, I think he could. I don't think there's any project. It's just a matter of once again, when it comes to superhero IPs, given what I've seen him, what I almost saw him do, I want somebody above him to say no. That's all. Because I think that Superman movie, he wrote that, right? He was
hired to write it, because I mean that was
yeah.
And he didn't like pitch them on that. It's like they said, okay, we're going to do we're trying to get another Superman off the ground, and we want you to we've seen your other work, so it's like, let's see what you can bring to this, and that's when he got the mandates of no flying, no cape, and fighting the giant spider. That wasn't like for his brainchild. That was like, he said, okay, the John Peters, the producers, like he says, okay, these are the things that are non-negotiables for him.
Which hopefully I would have just walked out of the office.
Well, again, we finally got the giant spider in the Flash. So
yeah, and what DC is the only company that can remind you why something got stopped. They're the only people that in the movie. It was the dumbest shit I've ever seen.
It was the best cameo in the movie.
DC is the only one that can actually make a right decision and then find a way for that for the wrong thing to surface. They got a bad habit about that. It's like, once you made the decision that it wasn't going to happen, I never needed to see that.
And by the way, it's actually the second time we've seen him fight a giant spider. Because you notice, like Man of Steel, the World Engine, just saying, looks a lot like a spider. It looks a lot like a giant spider.
Fourth, dude. I mean, I could understand if I ambushed you with the topic. If I had a secret topic behind a question mark, and I said, "You guess what, guys? You're never gonna guess what I'm talking about." I literally put the trailer in this movie for a movie that you're not going to see.
Well,
I love having the view, but why are you here?
Well, did anybody think we weren't going to talk about it tonight?
I debated not talking about it tonight. To be honest with you, it was a coin flip. I literally flipped the coin, and it landed on heads. Here we are. Because to be honest with you, I've done the work to stay away from the Superman conversation for as long as I could. But it was a coin flip. It was either going to be this, or we were going to talk about the adaptive stuff that we were talking about last night. And I decided, you know what, if I'm going to go ahead and do this, let's get it out of the way.
Well, this is, I think, the best of the trailers so far. So, and again, it's the first one was very much a teaser. This feels, it's much, the one before it too, but I mean, this one especially, it's a trailer. This is like, okay, this is giving, again, there's meat on this that just was not present in the first teaser, because the first teaser was a teaser.
I don't think there's such thing as peak Lex. I don't think there's such thing as peak Superman. I don't think there's such thing as peak anybody, because each one of these guys is going to design and tailor their Lex Luthor to fit their story. And I thought, every person that's played him has fit the story that the storyteller was telling exquisitely, to the point where I can't put one Lex over the other, because they were telling different stories. Just like I can't put necessarily, I have a preference when it comes to Superman, but this is why the comparisons to this Superman and his predecessor, to me, just aren't valid, and I just don't like to waste a lot of time for them, because they're two different missions. One of them was an origin story about how this person would come into being, and here this is one where there's superheroes that have been on the planet for hundreds of years, and he's 3 years in. So there's really no comparison to make between the two.
It's specified as 3 years in for him.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I must have missed. I mean, I knew he's established, but this 3 years specifically.
The world is not coming to terms with this alien that could end the Earth like there was. So there's two different missions. So you would direct and write a different Superman for that particular mission than you would for this one. So the comparisons they are inevitable, but they're just a waste of time for me.
Other thing about it too is I think based on this trailer, more so than others, I think I have a pretty good idea of like where the whole pocket universe thing is going to pop in, and it's when the whole like crevice in the city kind of opens up, and you got like a blue lights and things like that. Because I mean, it's either that, or I mean, Metropolis is going to be like left with like a giant, like Grand Canyon dividing it by the end of the movie. So I think that's that might be like you said, that might be like a portal to the Phantom Zone that we're seeing.
Yeah, I think the Phantom Zone is, and I think you have access it through the Force of Solitude. Fandango, Fantastic Four crashed them too. So I mean, that's good news for comic book nerds, but it's not, it's I don't know how for either Fantastic Four or this is. I don't know if any of this is going to equate to them being blockbusters. I think they both are going to be, but like I said, it's a matter of whenever I hear, so and so crashed, I'm like, as of today, I know certain markets have sold out of the Superman, the July 8th ones. My theater still had several seats left that weren't up on the screen. So it's going to be different. I think those will go. But this is also something different, though. This is the pre-screening event. They don't do these very often. Fantastic Four is not going to have one of these. They're just going to throw it to you. And like I said, somebody asked me, why aren't you renting theater for Fantastic Four? Is because I'll be in San Diego with a giant Galactus head in my lap, walking around San Diego like a fucking goofball that I am, and having all the fun in the world doing so. But yeah, I enjoyed this trailer. Was nice. I enjoyed the trailer. I like the tempo of the trailer. It's a trailer. The stuff is mixed up. I like some of the flight scenes. This for me, it's either really awe-inspiring the way they've shot it, or it's not.
Yeah, it's very.
That's
it
like,
oscillates between either or, really. Like
some of them are like, wow, that's fucking cool. And then other ones
him
are like
spinning with the heat vision, but the other one with him like with his arms like out, like that one does not look good at all.
But when I see it on the theater, that that might be like a part of a collage that makes it all look good. So I think David Cornsweet, I mean, he's growing on me as a Superman. I will have to see the movie to see if if it's anymore. But
I mean, I saw him in Twisters last year, but I mean,
I would be prior to Superman.
Yeah,
he could have kicked me in the head, and I wouldn't have known who he was.
Yeah,
so.
more. It's and that's kind of been the case for me. It's like pretty much every, certainly in my lifetime, every like Tom Welling, Brandon Routh, Henry Cavill, Tyler Hoechlin, and now Dean Cain before them, and now of course, so like every Superman actor, I've basically come to know of their existence by the news of them playing Superman.
Yeah, and see, when it came to the TV shows, when I was growing up, we didn't have we only had the movies. So you had Superman, and then you had the other ones. Like I said, and when we had the CW, the first time I saw Superman on the CW show, I literally wanted to unplug my TV and throw it at somebody, because it was Jobber Superman with that ugly costume with those shoulder boards, and he was kissing Supergirl's ass like he wasn't Superman. I'm like, oh wow,
yeah, that's why I didn't get into it.
This is some vomit-worthy shit.
It took him getting his own show for me to,
and then the first two seasons of that show, like I said it before, how they wrote out that show, barring the last 15 minutes, how they wrote out that show, they made some decisions I wouldn't have done. The whole Doomsday thing and the Bizarre thing was silly, but how they did it, the stylistic wise. But the first 2 seasons of that show, you would have to pay me to watch those. You would have to super chat me for each episode, because the first 2 seasons of that show and the last maybe season and a half of that show, I can't even believe the same people made them. That's how. Did they change? I don't. You're more immersed. Did they change showrunners?
No, they had the same people pretty much throughout the run.
Because that last season and a half versus the first 2 seasons, it's like, well, so it's like night and day. So kudos to them for getting better. On my top, Kevin Smith say would have been Batman Beyond. That's something he would be. That's something along his lines of things I think he would do. I think you're going to see James Gunn. If you are ever going to see Batman Beyond, it's either going to be James Gunn or it's never going to happen. That's a good question. I don't know.
Probably look a lot like Lord of the Rings.
Then I don't need Peter Jackson doing Superman. Then I wish someone had said not Tim Burton.
No, to Tim Burton. What?
Okay, after the first movie, yeah, but the first movie was iconic. But it's dated. There's only going to be one June 1989. It's like Superman and Superman 2. I love the hell out of those movies. But as I grow older, as I grew up, I look back at those movies and I'm like, these are kids' movies, really, in comparison to the world we're living in now. That doesn't disparage 89. 89 Batman was, dude, as 13-year-old me, was like I said, you couldn't throw a coin anywhere and it wouldn't land on some Batman stuff. I mean, everything about he was cool again. He was cool after Comic Code and everything, everything had softened Batman for years. He was Batman again. And because of what happened in 1986, Batman Dark Knight, Returns, year one, all of these things that were happening, John Burns, a lot of these guys run on this title. Jim Starlin's run, in my opinion, this is my opinion, has as much to do with the first Batman movie than anything else, as much as Frank Miller's Dark Knight does, because the stories that Jim Starlin was writing, and Jim Starlin's a pretty deep and dark writer, were letting people know that you can come back home with Batman. So I'm glad that they said yes to Tim Burton. I'm not happy that they said yes to Batman Returns, though, because I really didn't enjoy that movie at all. Chuck Cage, I think Ben Affleck, Man of Steel would have been intriguing. Yeah, I mean, this is Academy.
Yeah, because before Zach came aboard, Ben was not only that, but also for Justice League. They were trying to get Ben on board for like DC stuff for quite a while before he was Batman.
Well, yeah, because you had Jeff Robinoff. That they were tight. That's who brought him in. Peter Jackson, Wonder Woman, and them. No, I mean, to each his own. I would rather have. No, you got to give me somebody else. Shit, I'll take Nolan over Peter Jackson. This is not knocking Peter Jackson, but I don't want Lord of the Rings for Wonder Woman personally. This is a personal preference. I'd rather have a Dunkirk type of situation for Wonder Woman than a Lord of the Rings situation. Let's see. Yeah, I can. With Kevin Smith, I could imagine that, and he would do that, and that would probably turn me off. It's like a tentacle. You're in charge. Best trailer was the official first trailer with the dialogue between Clark and Lois. I thought that was I thought this was better than that one, Rhea, but I thought that trailer did a lot as far as catching up, as far as who is what and how the world views him. That interview to me sets the stage for how Superman is viewed, and that's what intrigued me about the movie. Because
this is like more of an action trailer. This one that we just watched.
Yeah, it was a lot of the aspects that I enjoyed about Man of Steel. I saw in that last trailer. because once again, it's a different mission. So you're going to get a different Superman and a different creator, but you're going to come up with the same questions. At what point does mankind start to question the most powerful thing living? At what point does his morals line? Should you feel safe? You know, Ben Affleck's Batman posed that question. We give the keys to the guy who could burn the whole thing down. But now we have a situation to where that same question is being asked. You see people throwing stuff at him. You see people starting to doubt this and resent this godhood thing. So those aspects in that last trailer, I thought were pretty cool. This, as far as action wise goes, I thought this movie looks like a lot of fun. Now, as somebody who's already going to go see it, you know, if I hadn't bought my ticket, this wouldn't have made me buy my ticket. I mean, it was, but this was still cool. But trailers affect people different ways. But I thought for this trailer, Nicholas Hoult was the standout for this.
I know. For me, I don't know. He felt a little bit clunky for me in this trailer. I'm not really sold on his Lex Luthor yet.
I won't be completely sold until I see the movie, but I'm sold enough on it now that he's a credible Lex. Right now,
he just feels like a very generic kind of Lex to me.
Well, Lex is a generic character.
Yeah, it's a good.
Lex Luthor. If you read comics, Lex Luthor is a generic character. Each writer basically shoves their idealistic impression, given whenever era that they're writing Lex Luthor. You read Lex Luthor in the '60s; he's a generic composite character. He is the prototypical villain. That's what he is. You read him in the 70s. It's whatever 70s style, whoever's writing in the 70s, he's a generic prototypical vehicle, evil genius. I can do this, man. You know, God against man type of situation.
Yeah, but again, I haven't got a lot of personality of what I've seen yet, though. Is what I'm saying.
Who has? I mean,
like Hackman.
Hackman just played
Iceberg, like all of them like have like the real staple to what. And again, it's like we've only seen a very limited amount.
Well, like I said, you've seen those guys. You've seen multiple. You've seen entire movies with those guys, and those trailers were just as generic as any. I remember watching the Superman trailer with Gene Hackman as a kid, and you wouldn't have been overwhelmed by him in that trailer necessarily. You just needed to be convinced that he was a credible villain. That's what he does here. I don't need to be overwhelmed in a trailer. I don't need to be. That's what the movie's for.
Yeah.
So I think I think Lex Luthor is literally like a plug and play villain, and then it comes up to the person who the creator wants to do with them as far as how far they want to take them. But every Lex Luthor, in my opinion, is basically generic until you hand them to the creator. Rational Skeptic, $5 super chat. Do you think Machete was telling the truth when he said that Batman? I think this is Brave and the Bold can't start.
Brave and the Bold, yeah.
No, I don't recall him actually saying that.
I don't recall it either.
But I don't think I don't think we're beyond that. I think Matt Reeves is putting together a script in Matt Reeves' time. But I don't think any of these are going to have anything to do. They will stagger them. So James Gunn will put his movie out in a staggered timeline. Then even if they were both done today, it wouldn't matter. They would produce them to where the Batman 2 comes out here and Brave and the Bold comes out here. So I don't see a problem. Hell, they could do them. They could release one in January if they wanted to, and release the other one in December of the next year. It wouldn't matter. I don't think fans are stupid. Like a lot of fans thought fans are stupid to where, oh my God, I'm going to get confused. There's two Batman on the screen. What do I do? No, I think that we're finally starting to see people figure out that we can, it's not scratch and sniff. We can figure it out. So no, I don't think one has to do with the other at all, regardless of what Andy Muschietti said. Remember, he may believe that. But I'm not calling him a liar because he may believe that, but I don't think he is basing it off of information that is actually, planned. Because like I said, we're about to come out with this movie, in a month from now, and plans. I mean, we're just now hearing about, a Wonder Woman script. So I don't think we're that rigid right now. So I don't think it matters. Thank you for the support. That's literally. I've had Fandango crash on me. I'm a Fandango member, and I've had Fandango crash on me. So I've had ticket sites crash on me all the time. especially when I'm doing wrestling events. I've had them crash. Like, I mean, I'll literally be the only one that says one waiting, right? And I'll refresh, and it just locks me out. So it could be that, but you know what? I'm going to give him a bit of benefit of the doubt. I mean, you know, there's nothing wrong with being excited about a Superman movie. There's really nothing wrong with it at all. And like I said, you know, I was trying to build up. I wasn't going to do this particular show tonight because I'm like, let all the you know, the filth wear themselves out so that I can get on and talk about the actual trailer itself and not somebody's past scars or somebody's future scars. Didn't feel like doing that. So
well, I mean, scars of a sort. Can you go to the part where the city is kind of cracking open? And that's like about the middle of the trailer, I think. Yeah.
Hold on.
Oh, and also, I don't think we've gotten into Ultraman yet. Which he could. If you first go into right here. Okay, go back a little bit because I want to talk about Ultraman real quick before I go into that.
Good luck with that.
Go back a little bit.
No matter what you do to me, Luther, your plans won't work.
Wrap it up.
Yeah, they're right there.
Good luck with that.
So the little snippets of Ultraman we get. It looks like he's got his mask pulled off at that point. So, I guess we're going to see who's under the mask at that point in the movie. But I don't know if it's just me, but it's like with the mask off, he has a real like Winter Soldier kind of look to me. And it's probably because his hair is hanging there. They're still trying to, in the shots we're seeing, keep his identity concealed, which is why I do think there is. I'm confident enough in saying that that the Ultraman reveal is meant to be like some kind of big reveal moment because he's similar to Bizarro in the sense that he's a multiverse doppelganger Superman. So it's like, okay,
no, stop that. No, there's nothing like there's no similarities whatsoever.
They're both
to
Superman
Bizarro
doppelgangers,
and Ultraman.
which means they could both be played by Cornsweat, correct?
No, not really necessarily. Because first of all, for those of you trying to get your mind wrapped around Ultraman, do yourself a favor and don't even think about Bizarro. Don't fuck yourself in the head. Don't confuse yourself because that's all it's going to do. Ultraman is something. In fact, Google or there's a lot of good YouTube videos about Ultraman, and
but the point is,
then look up Bizarro, and then you'll realize that.
But the point is that he's the Superman of another Earth, of a different Earth. So again, that means he could
there's some circumstances you're kind of glossing over that kind of like
I get that, but Cornsweat could still play him, and the fact that they're going out of their way to like put him in a suit that covers him, that tells me okay, this is meant to be because it was just going to be Ultraman from the outset. It's like, I mean, why not just have Cornsweat there from the outset? So,
because most fans who are going to watch this movie aren't going to read a comic, which is a damn shame. So me knowing that Ultraman is Superman does now the other 98% who are going to see this movie on July 7th who have never heard of that character until now.
Yeah, I did like a Cliff Notes where I broke down Ultraman, and we had one of the pieces that I wrote recently on the comic book, Aaron. But I mean, that wasn't like a comprehensive one, but I just kind of said, okay, in a nutshell, he's an evil Superman of a different Earth.
Well, as we get closer, probably within the next couple of weeks, I will probably do one because, like I said, I think that's important that people actually, if you are going to dive into things beyond the movie, that you actually understand, what Ultraman is. Depending on, well, once again, none of this could be. I mean, the movie's in his hands. He could swerve you. He could swerve you, and
that's again that's also. We're kind of seeing it right here with this section. The folks they got to do well. William too, definitely.
Well, yeah, I mean that's.
But like this whole crevice in the city here, like we can like play along a little bit slowly on the little bar there.
I'm not good at this.
Yeah, like this whole that whole like open. That goes on for miles there. So, yeah, and look at this here. So. I mean, it's going out into the ocean, so that really suggests to me, okay, this is how they're going to factor the pocket universe kind of plot device or whatever it's going to be in it. Because again, the only alternative is that by the end of the movie, Metropolis is going to be like, it's going to be like separated like this. It's going to be like a Grand Canyon between two halves of Metropolis.
Well, what it looks like he's done is that I don't think it's. I know he said Pocket Universe, but I don't think he meant Pocket Universe. This is what it looks like here. This is just my opinion. That Lex is doing stuff that destabilizes the barriers between the Phantom Zone, and it's basically collapsing and tearing Earth apart. That that's just based on.
Well, but I mean, it's again like. It's got to be some kind of portal of some kind, because again the only alternative is that Metropolis is going to be left like this by the end of the movie.
If okay, so like think of Stranger Things. At the end of Stranger Things season 4, where the Upside Down, the barriers between the Upside Down started to leak, and it started because the barriers were never meant to be tampered with. They're going to do this, but once he can reverse that though, if he's
but that means it's an ethereal or a old otherworldly or some. It's not like a crack in the earth that has been just like drilled through Metropolis.
No, you can kind of see it's interdimensional.
Well, yeah, it's got the whole like blue lines and things like that. And there's even another shot in there that has maybe you can find. I think it's a little bit later in the trailer here that shows Superman from behind. Where looks like he's maybe peering into the Phantom Zone or something. I think it's a little bit further in the trailer. There, yeah, go back that one. That's it. Yeah, this has got to be the portal or the Phantom Zone or some kind of like otherworldly thing. It looks like that's.
Yeah, well, the fact that he's at the Fortress of Solitude, because the Fortress of Solitude has access to the Phantom Zone.
Phantom Zone port is but yeah, that's got to be Metamorpho right there on the far right.
They chose him. Let them die.
This Lex Luthor is a little bit it's hateful. I can see that as being a difference.
Yeah, I'm sure those guys are okay.
Cool thing of the whole thing.
Hey, buddy, eyes up here.
Yeah, this one shot coming up here though. Ooh man, yeah, that one's rough.
Yeah, but just right before it is really cool. This one's my favorite one that was flying.
Eyes up here.
And there's one in the last trailer where when he flies up, the camera starts at the bottom, and I love that scene. There's a lot to like in this as far as I can see in this movie. This is gonna be. I'm gonna go and have fun with this movie. There's some things in here, and I know they don't show you everything in the trailer, but there's some stuff in here that if it comes out the way it looks like it's laid out here, it's gonna be awe-inspiring. You're gonna be like, ooh, that's kind of cool. There's a lot of cool things in this movie. I don't know if I don't see it replacing my preferential Superman, but that doesn't mean I can't have fun with this. I'm gonna have a lot of fun with this movie. There are aspects in it that, like I said, I don't need to see in the Superman movie that he's decided to put in. But you know what? Like I said, I always say, let the storytellers tell a story. You want to put a dog, an alien dog in your movie with a cape? Cool. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to sell the shit out of everything I can get my hands on. I got more stuff coming in this week too. Krypto on it. I wish you know what I want to do. What I want to do is I want to hold a contest for some of the people who can get tickets. I want you to come to the store. I'm gonna post this. I want you to come dress your dog up as Krypto and come to the store. And if you tag us and take a picture while you're at the center, I'm gonna get you into our screening. Have some fun with it. So I still, once again, just another. I hate this costume, but it's not changing. So
yeah, God. I don't. It's by far my least favorite live action Superman suit.
Yeah, but there's like this last part of it where all the wow scenes are put together. That's something that when you're watching a trailer, it's like you're getting amped up for. They've done a good job with this trailer. This is I like certain elements of the last trailer, the build up with the interview, but overall, this to me is a trailer. This gives you everything you need right here. This gives you everything you need. Gives you the wow moments. It gives you a lot of the main characters. I mean, we've left out some of the I didn't see a Hawk Girl in here. Maybe I missed her. I don't know.
She's been some of the other ones, but she's not in this one.
Yeah, so this one right here, I have Lex Luthor, I have Lois Lane, I have you know, Ultraman, which they figured on. I have the big destruction, the big world ending thing that Superman's got to stop. Got to have that in there. I got the WoW environment. I'm not big on the whole, you know, the color scheme of it, but I when you see it in motion, it looks cool. I like this trailer. I think I'm gonna have a lot. I'm gonna have a lot of fun with this movie.
I don't think he's like, you know, a multiverse character. I think he's of the same Earth as Hornswoggle.
What did he say?
Guy Gardner. Aaron's asking if Guy Gardner he's the Guy Gardner of this Earth, or if he's from another reality.
Yeah, the only multiversal character is probably going to be Ultraman, and anybody, because what he's probably done is he's probably got into the Fortress of Solitude, and he's like a guy that breaks into some place and doesn't know where anything is. So he's messing around. He's very dangerous now because he's messing around with things that Superman still hasn't figured out all the things that happen in the Phantom Zone in the Fortress.
So you think he like goes in there to like try to commandeer some technology, and then he ends like pressing the wrong button or something, and ends up opening the Phantom Zone? Or...
Yeah, I think he opens it up and he realizes that there are other realities, because the Phantom Zone time doesn't really you could get into it. It exists depending on who's writing. It exists outside of the multiverse continuity. Because remember, in Action Comics, I think it was 591 when John Byrne took over, or Superman 21, when those there was a Phantom Zone in that universe that Superboy lived in, even though Time Trapper had taken Superboy's slice of the universe and he had separated it. But yet the Phantom Zone there was still a Phantom Zone there. So it's my suspicion that the Phantom Zone is kind of like the fourth world, to where it exists outside of the multiverse and is not affected by time and everything else. And and that's what Lex finds. Lex finds a way to access other universes, and that's how he gets Ultraman. Because obviously Ultraman is a different thing. He would have access.
But again, there's also, he's playing with technology he doesn't understand. So he gets Ultraman, but he also has like
but he also destabilizes. Yeah, he destabilizes the
Well, I don't know, like this shot right here, where it's like, I mean, Ultraman's right there behind him, so they're going into the Fortress of Solitude right now, so that kind of suggests to me he gets Ultraman at an earlier point. But so he
may be coming back though.
So he might have already. This might be.
Yeah, he might have already done what he's doing, but he may be coming back. I don't know, but he has to. Okay, but if this doesn't have to be canon, but if that's canon, if he's going by the book, then he has to have gone somewhere and got that Ultraman.
Ultraman, yeah.
He had to. So even if he's coming back with Ultraman there, that means he's been to the Fortress of Solitude. But once again, we see the movie. It's gonna be.
And by the way, Williams, you're going to be like that night for like one of the early Amazon, like the July 8th or whatever.
I'm going July 8th.
Okay,
so that's so that I can give my review.
So William's going to be seeing it like, at least 2 days before I do.
You can go. Well, you don't have one out there for you?
No, they do. So I'm just not going to be able to make it that night.
Oh, okay.
I looked at my theater. They do have one of the early shows. I'm just not going to be able to make it that night.
Yeah. So one person's phone app fails to load and poor cell connected Metro mass outages. Yeah.
Actually, right. True story. Because looking at the for the July 10th early shows, I'm actually, because you guys, I shared, I just had my Tang Sudo black belt test. I just got to my black belt in that particular martial art. Of course, I'm share a lot about my life in martial arts on here. I've got another test coming up. It's actually in Krav Maga. It's not going to be a full belt test. It's just a striping test. It's part of like the progression of the next belt. And it's that Thursday. It's like July 10th. So it's like, I could potentially like be wrapping up a test and then going to see Superman after that.
Oh no. Cause the MCU hypes up shows with their YouTube numbers for 24-hour numbers. When they get like a couple 100 million, Fantastic Four. Dude, I don't know what you're trying to say. A Fantastic Four is going to be a blockbuster. There's YouTube views don't mean shit at this point, simply because people are. There's no question here. See, with Superman, because of the way the IP has been handled, there was a question whether they could pull this off. It was a risk. That's why it's been so long. There's no question on whether MCU can pull this off. You could get 50 YouTube views wouldn't mean shit to me. 200 doesn't matter. When you have something that's trusted, I don't need to watch it 20 times out of curiosity to see if this is going to work. It's already, the resume is already there. It's like, okay, I'm interviewing Brad for a job. I've never met Brad. I don't know who the fuck Brad is, right? I'm considering Brad for the job, but I don't know him. I need to make a couple interviews, maybe third interview, something, third interview, get to know Brad. But I got this other guy over here. I got Rhea, who I've had work for me before. She's gone other places, but I know Rhea's resume. It's going to take me one interview to hire Rhea because Rhea's a trusted brand. I don't need to interview Rhea 10 times to find out whether Rhea is worthy for the job. Whereas Brad, who I don't know, the last thing I've heard, about him and the company he came from, I don't know a lot. It's been a while. I got to get more.
Be interested in me as a candidate, but.
Yeah, but when it comes to that, you're looking at a movie like Superman that is the forebringer of what is to come for an entire universe. Fantastic Four is just fitting in an already successful one. So I wouldn't look at those numbers, good or bad, for both. Neither one of these movies. Any YouTube, by the way, it is free to click on YouTube.
Rhea's a trusted brand. Yes, she is.
Yeah, it is free to click on YouTube. Just because you click on a YouTube video doesn't mean you're going, or you can pull money. I know a lot of people right now that are watching these trailers that can't afford to go to these movies. So those kind of numbers, good or bad, I wouldn't put that much into them. Listen, when the tickets start, we'll see what it's projected now. The tickets are starting to sell. I have no doubt that Fantastic Four is not going to do well. I don't have any real doubt anymore. A lot of my doubt about Superman. I just don't know what is considered successful though. There's no people are saying, well, people are moving the goalposts. You fucking fools don't even know what the goalposts are. None of us dumbasses do. So the only people who know what the goalposts are the people who spent the money on the movie and set the determining goal for that movie.
Well,
we're guessing.
We have a very special guest in the chat tonight. None other than Kathleen Kennedy. Who's saying best Fantastic Four will always be The Incredibles. Well, we have Kathleen Kennedy in the chat. We gotta say hello. She's big time. He's running Lucasfilm.
Why do I do the work? Why do I put the discipline in? Why do I do all of this to be taken seriously? And you guys think this is a joke?
It's probably Spidey.
Let me laugh. Let me laugh so that you didn't waste your time on that. Ha ha. There you go.
I'm gonna pull up these. These are on Twitter. There's a couple of shots of the fight with Ultraman too. This is where I kind of get the idea right here that you look very Winter Soldier-esque. That right there. It's like the mask off.
Because I wasn't. I need to finish addressing him. These YouTube views and all this stuff, that doesn't mean shit to me, and it really shouldn't mean anything to anybody. Because, like I said, committing money to a movie, that's something. Watching a free trailer, that's not the same thing. All right, go ahead.
Yeah, again, he appears to have his mask off here, and just right here, it's he gives off like a real Winter Soldier kind of vibe, which might be the intent in the sense, okay, maybe he's like he's a brainwashed soldier under Lex's command. The hair
could be that way, or he could just be an emo.
His hair looks fairly long. Now this shot here is kind of interesting to me because, it's the kind of you have to freeze frame at just the right.
Well, they've distorted the face. That shot when you see it in the movie, that's not going to look like that.
Oh, so because I was looking at this thinking he looks almost like a wolf or an ape or something there.
Yeah, they've
distorted it. So you think that's the face of whoever's playing Ultraman, and that's just kept obscure.
Because, like I said, the majority of people who go to this movie are not going to know. Their very first mention of Ultraman is going to be in this movie. And Fantastic Four ain't making more than Lilo and Stitch or Minecraft. It doesn't need to.
Well, Lilo and Stitch have done pretty damn good, yeah. And Minecraft, and I'm not saying that needs to be the bar for them, those have been very successful.
Yeah, Fantastic Four. I'm guessing Fantastic Four is going to be in the high 6s, mid 7s or more, and it doesn't. It's leading. Remember, Marvel doesn't do the panic game. They know what they have. They know where their story is going, and they know where their fans will be. And now that they have this streaming element to it, if you don't watch it in the theater and you stay on as a subscriber because it's on Disney Plus or PVOD, they know they're getting their money from Fantastic Four. They're fine with it. I think Fantastic Four is going to do quite well. I mean, will it do 800-900? Who knows? I think I don't. Once again, for anybody doubting the success of Fantastic Four, they still to this day need to show me an A-list that Marvel perceives as A-list, and they definitely covered the Fantastic Four as A-list. That has not been successful. Not your opinion. Opinions don't mean shit. Numbers do. Where it has an A-lister, and we know who the established A-listers are when it comes to the MCU, where has one of them not done well? And then there's your answer. Let's see. I have not heard a new Wonder Woman has been announced. I have not. I think I don't know if it's from a reliable source.
No, that was Gunn was interviewed in Variety or whatever it was, and he said, "Yeah, we're scripting Wonder Woman now." So
yeah, so they probably if he's just now scripting it, that means according to how he does it, then he doesn't have an actor yet. He doesn't cast the actors according to him until he gets the thing, or until he gets the right script, because that kind of will determine who you want. John Singleton's Task Force, rest in peace, John Singleton. The second movie had iconic moments, but structurally was not as strong as the 89. I like I said, I went to go see that, and I remember that was my senior year. That's weird because it bracketed my freshman year. The end of my freshman year in high school was when I went to go see Batman 89, and one of the things I did. Actually, no, it was after my senior year because this came out. I forgot when Batman Returns came out, but I know it was 92. I really just I just didn't like that movie.
I think I appreciate more the Tim Burton movie than it's a Batman movie.
Yeah, and then I lost my love for Tim Burton for the most part over the last 30 some odd years. I mean, he has some great movies, but for the most part, it's just
he's returned to form, I think, with Beetlejuice, and Wednesday.
I thought Beetlejuice was shit.
Well, you thought the first one was shit, so
yeah. So I've been consistent. So
nice fucking model, honk honk.
It's a lot. Beetlejuice was a lot of the same. Was a lot of the same stuff I didn't find funny.
Yeah, so that's why I liked it so much. Because
I was like, wow. And then I guess we're going to be you guys will be subjected to Beetlejuice. So,
damn right we will.
So that kind of shit, just like I said, Tim Burton for the most part until Wednesday. As soon as I saw his name on top of something, I just dismissed it as something I wasn't going to go see. Superman 78. If you feel it's aged well, I don't know how old you are, Music Man, but I was from that era, and so maybe it's just because I've seen the world develop up to this point right now where I don't think it's aged, but hey, to each his own. You know what, Aaron, you should be because some of the stuff, some of these fucking popcorn buckets, like I said, I'm probably going to go into the hole when it comes to
William, he's gonna find some poor kid.
Nah, ain't not gonna be no poor kid. If you're buying a Galactus bucket, you ain't poor.
William is gonna let some kid leave the theater in tears.
No, he's gonna be leaving tears because his parents is gonna be like, "How much? Oh no, you better get this Mr. Fantastic cup. Hey, you want a Funko Pop? Because they got those at the theater." I think these are not going to move. I think they'll move, but I don't think they're going to move as quickly enough to where I got to use my dastardly plan to be like, hey, look over there. And I grab your popcorn. I don't think that's going to be the case. I think I will have no problem getting these if they've made enough of them, because that's at $80 for a popcorn bucket. Damn. That's all I got to say. Damn. But if they sell, dude, I hope they sell a lot of them, because that's more money for your theater. So, all right. So here's the one that I'm definitely gonna get. You got the Krypto one. I don't know how much these are going to cost. But here, let me get to this page because this page
You got that
is,
underwear one up there too. It's like, is that real? Or is
that's
it?
a joke. No, I that was a joke. And if it's real, I am not buying that. They can keep that one. I don't care if it's free. I'll just leave it on.
Oh, Azteca. I love Sleepy Hollow. I love his Sleepy Hollow. That's even more so than Batman. That's probably my favorite Tim Burton movie.
For me, it's Ed Wood, and then everything else is just like is somewhat watchable. All right, so there's Krypto. This is one I'm getting. I don't even need to know the price of it. Probably about $30, but I'm getting that. And then they got a dog dish. All right, what do you mean? He's got the bag with the popcorn.
It looks like plastic, like pop. That's like it's part of the bag.
That looks like real. Okay.
That looked like that stuff that you like see in like model homes.
This one right here is probably going to sell like hotcakes, so I'm going to need this one. I'm going to need a plan. I do want this one. I am not eating out of a dog dish. I'm a man. This to me. Listen, guys. If I see you walking around eating out of a dog dish, I want to be like, they got you.
I really hope that when I go see this movie, like I see at least one person in there eating popcorn out of a dog bowl.
I'm gonna offer you money to be on all fours eating out of this. If you're gonna eat out of a dog bowl, so there's I don't need to think of that. There's just the regular handheld ones. These are nice too. These are cool. Obviously, like I said, they're following. They know that dog is the money. There you go. And then this one right here is a European one.
So that's only sold in Europe?
I heard, but it's a Riga Heat Vision specialty drink. Oh, this is a drink? Okay, we'll serve popcorn in a bucket shape like popcorn popper with this is going to be Regal. So I'm going to have to go to all these damn theaters.
All these damn theaters and steal all these damn buckets from all these damn kids.
Nah, they're not going to be able to afford this. This is going to be about $49. With a figure of Superman on the exterior beaming his heat vision toward the popcorn. Regal also have Krypto's popcorn butt resembling a doggy bowl with the figurine Krypto dog attached. So that's going to be that one. No, actually no. There's a doggy bowl. There's one that they're not showing here. It looks like that dish. That might be that's neat. Alamo Draft House. I don't feel like paying like $1 billion to see a movie though. That's neat. I hate this costume and I hate the trunks, but that's neat. So there you go, guys. There's listen. I love the popcorn bucket phase. I hope it never ends. It never needs to end. This should be the beginning of something that lasts for decades. Every major movie needs to have one. If you got a major movie, before I'm the studio head and I say, well, all right, I'm going to say yes or no. What's your plan for the popcorn bucket? Huh? What's your plan for the popcorn bucket? Your movie is kind of risky. But you know what? I think I can make about 8 or 9 million in popcorn buckets. So,
I'm telling you, this year, 30-year anniversary of 7, I've got the perfect popcorn bucket for you. It's it's come on. This writes itself.
They're not going to.
We got to see what's inside the box.
They're not going to go to the baggage that comes with that. Even though it's a good idea, they're not going to do it.
Come on,
all right.
AMC, every theater chain. Come on, we got to do this. The 30-year release of 7. What's in the box?
Laptop tomorrow because this buzz is going through my ear.
This is my laptop. What the hell are you talking about? Is that
what you no, I keep muting you because it's static.
I'm on my
no, your desktop is the one you need to. The desktop is the one with the better.
Now I have to go back to the one that was causing the problem in the first place.
No, I thought the desktop was the one that was.
That was okay. It. This is my laptop I'm on now.
So why are you sounding like you're in a washing machine right now?
Do I sound like I'm in a washing machine, everybody?
Maybe listen. Maybe it's like it was before. Chat. Can you hear the static on Brad's end? If not, it's an inner thing that I got to fix with StreamYard because there's sometimes I can't even hear what you're saying. Like when I have to repeat, hey Brad, repeat because the static is so high. So maybe the chat is not seeing it. Well, maybe they're not getting it all, but maybe it's something I got to look at.
Yeah.
For as much money as I pay for StreamYard,
well, I don't know.
No, it has nothing to do. Why did you? I'm gonna start bringing your ass up. So it's StreamYard. Your equipment, not why when it says equipment not connected, that's a StreamYard thing. So your your equipment is not consistent with what StreamYard needs.
Yeah, yeah, they're all saying apparently it's I sound fine to them.
Okay, so it's StreamYard because I wish I could well, hold on, you guys can't. Let me turn it up because you guys can't hear what I'm hearing, but I'm hearing a lot. Here you go. That's what I'm hearing. That's what I'm hearing. So
Well, okay, so there's got to be a StreamYard thing.
It's a StreamYard thing. If they're not hearing it,
since I can't hear Brett say because you won't let him talk. We're talking all night.
Yeah, he gets to talk every now and then. But yeah, it's definitely so. I'm gonna have to figure that out.
So maybe that wasn't the problem. Maybe my PC wasn't the problem.
It's your PC's interaction with StreamYard. So your PC is part of the problem. Something that you're in is part of the problem, but it's probably more so because when you switch the other equipment, we weren't having an issue for a while. So I'll figure it out. I'll have to email. There's a lot of stuff I got to email StreamYard about anyway because there's just a lot of. Once I start paying, once you raise my prices, I start complaining a lot more when the shit doesn't work. So.
Yeah.
All right. Peter Jackson couldn't make you watch anything else after he did King Kong, so I will say no to him for Wonder Woman. Yeah.
I like his King Kong a lot, actually.
It's all right. All right, we're going all the way to the end. I'm not. I have no plans on seeing either, so I'm glad you enjoyed that, Ray.
Let's see. Aaron says, "Hey, to all you studios, sell your popcorn buckets here in Australia." Yeah, you've been saying this for a while. Apparently, this popcorn bucket trend has not found its way to Australia yet. It's really weird.
It's probably because the cinema has to license it. That's why. So whatever cinema that you have in Australia, you need to get on them about getting a license for it because Regal did it, AMC did it, and they're really cool. Oh no, that's not fair. Listen, guys, stop comparing stuff to CW because there are times where CW was really bad because they didn't. What they were trying to do was beyond their means. I credit the people who kept
on the last show. It wasn't.
I credit the people who were trying their best to make good shows, but when you're not given any money for the most part of your existence, that's where the whole CW thing comes from. It's not a knock on the people. It's they did the best they could with what they had. It just wasn't enough, and it just a lot of times it turns out to be stuff I just wouldn't. I'd rather watch a cartoon than CW at the time. And yeah, great, you put money into Superman. On your way out the door. I mean, it's like good executive decisions there.
Yeah, Drogos says they don't get those in Australia.
Yeah, because it's got to do with your theater, because it's the theater chains that decide what they get, because that's why they're exclusive.
This is something else I was thinking about too. We were breaking down the oh god, yeah. I bet these are going to be some good ones from Mortal Kombat 2. That's like, oh man, the fun you could have the fatalities on those.
I don't think they're going to get those because they didn't spend very much money on the. I don't think so. I don't know if a theater is going to do a popcorn bucket for that type of movie. Because if you look at the majority, I think even Dune, Mortal Kombat's going to be rated R, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay, I don't see the value in doing a popcorn bucket because you got a limited audience.
Well, again, Aaron and I, based on the last endorsement MK2 just got, we are excited to skyrocket for it. So.
Yeah, but are you gonna make a popcorn bucket that like 80% of your audience can't even a movie that can't even get into? So it's
Well, you could. It doesn't necessarily all have to be like hearts getting ripped out and stuff.
No, but why you're making the popcorn buckets because you want to maximize the family dollar. You're not doing that with Mortal Kombat. It's not a family movie.
But anyway, what was I saying a second ago? Yeah, so with what we were just talking about in the trailer, with like again the crevice in the city opening, and this is some kind of interdimensional portal. And Gunn did say it's like, okay, there is going to be like some characters, probably not Superman, but some characters who appear in this movie are going to be in Peacemaker season 2. So, and he's taught that okay, that also the interdimensional aspect also plays a role in Peacemaker season 2. So now I'm kind of wondering, okay, how much do these two kind of directly link to each other story wise and with that plot element too?
That's a good question. Very good question. That's one of those things I can't wait to see.
Yeah.
No, Music Man. I didn't. I saw it in the movies, and I wasn't.
I was a baby.
Yeah. It's just sometimes certain people's humor just doesn't connect with me. It's like, sometimes a comedian will be on stage. I like stand-up comedy. Sometimes Chris Rock appeals to me. He doesn't appeal to other people. Whereas certain other comedians, it's just like the brand of humor just was not for me. So no, I didn't like it.
Reyes getting in on the CW dissing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it did. God, it was so
that was not made, but that was not the theaters didn't do that though. That was them. They did that, and it wasn't widely available either.
I can't even imagine what they are going to have to do in Terrifier 4 to make that movie more violent than what we have seen already.
I'm just gonna buy them. At $80, I'm not gonna have. Listen, there's not gonna be some kid walking around unless he's a spoiled rich kid walking around with an $80 popcorn.
Okay, William, it's like Mr. It's like, oh, you guys, we gotta send super chats to make Brad watch these horrible movies, so I don't have to sleep on a bench when I'm going out to Comic-Con. But no, he's gonna swipe these popcorn because there's some happy kid going in the seat.
No, at $80, I would have to snatch it from an adult. So yeah, no, we're not. And at $80, like I said, I'm only going to do that, or was only going to do that if they weren't available. At $80 a pop, I'm quite confident that we're going to be okay getting one there.
Yes, that it's supposed to be out next month. They might put it for Superman.
We will not be watching it. There it is.
On
your Kung Fu show, yeah. 89 Batman holds up. Well, that goes without
saying.
That's an easy one. Let's see.
And again, that's why, again, with it, just this, like you've talked about, like Superman fandom and like you just the fractious nature of that, and I mean, let's call a spade a spade. I mean, a not insignificant portion of Superman fandom wants everything to just be predicated on the Reed movies, and it's like even the good ones have the first one, 2 I think is the one that's aged the best. It's also the best of them, I think.
Yeah.
And but again, most of them don't age well, and 2 out of 4 of them are terrible.
Would you steal a Superman bucket too? Well, the Krypto one, if the Krypto one's about $30 or so, that might be one that's going to run out. And I got a plan. I bump into you, it's crowded, everybody's leaving the theater. I grab your hand with the cash, and I grab the bucket. And while you're figuring, oh shit, somebody just gave me. And here's the thing, guys. Guess what? I'm not just going to give you market value for some of these things. I'm going to throw in an extra $5 or $10. So you're going to profit instantly. That's only if they run out, though. It's only if they run out. If they're there, if Krypto in the bucket, I'm not buying the dog dish. I repeat. I mean, man. But the one I really want.
You just know there is going to be that opening weekend. There is going to be a viral photo on social media of some guy in the theater eating popcorn out of one of those dog bowls.
James Gunn, I got you full to eat out of a dog dish. You want some Alpo? No, I'm not doing it. You will not be getting that video moment of me. But I want the popcorn, the maker with him, the beam coming through, and I want Krypto. So depending on the pricing,
yeah, we probably will, Aaron. But again, it's like give me some more time to think this through with everybody, because again, I want to do this show, this martial arts centric show, as as an adjunct of the Sci-Fi Center. It's like give me some more time to kind of like plot this out in my head when I want this to be, because again, it's like all joking aside, it's like no, it's like this is something I think the time has come for Brad.
You know how long Brad takes to get to shit. So Aaron, you might have to spur him on.
It's always worth the wait.
Yeah, whatever. This looks like like I said, the merchandising is coming, all that one. Here's the thing about merchandising, and people were like, well, you don't need, I thought they should be doing this months ago. I'm going to give you a reason why. And people were like, wait, the movie doesn't come out, and just telling me, everybody wants to tell me I don't know what I'm talking about. That's fine. Here's why I always like blockbuster movies, and companies like to have the stuff out earlier. A lot of these companies manufacture these things based on projecting what they need. So it's harder to do it closer to the movie because now you're guessing. But if you have some of this stuff out here, you can kind of track how it's doing then. If we got crypto or whatever out there, in March or whatever, then if it sells well, I know how much I can make instead of the movie coming along and things selling out. And then it may or may not be worth it for you to back end a whole lot of toys and stuff when you could have sold them there. So you're tracking it months in advance to say, okay, we need to make 1 million more of these because we just sold 5. You know what I mean? So for me, as somebody who orders these things in advance, I have to now project, I think I'll do pretty well and I can buy them on second market. But I think it's a lot easier for the manufacturing to be out there because otherwise you're getting a shortage. And now you're dealing with shipping, you're dealing with tariffs, you're dealing with a whole bunch of things that can make it, to make it, because a lot of stuff's going to be made overseas. So that's why I think the marketing and the things like that should have been a little bit sooner. That's just me. I think hopefully it'll be fine, and hopefully they make more stuff because this is the universe. So yeah, really good one today. Hello.
And who gifted you a membership? I could not tell you that. We're at to see it.
Larry gifted you the membership. 20th anniversary for Batman Begins should be a cow. It should be an alarm clock to wake me up and let me know that it's time for me to leave the movie.
I would totally, go over there for the 20-year release because I that's how I saw Dark Knight Rises, was the marathon of the whole trilogy. And the reason I did that was because because my family were moving from Europe at the time. I was graduating from that year it came out. I was graduating from high school, and my dad was retiring from the army at the same time. So, and because of that, we were like, settling and kind of picking up our lives from there and like starting a new home. I didn't get the chance to see Batman Begins theatrically during its original run. So that kind of like that night served like 3 purposes for me with that marathon. Was A, Dark Knight Rises, seeing that, the midnight show back when we actually did midnight shows. B, seeing the Man of Steel trailer before that, and C, like finally seeing Batman Begins theatrically.
Nosferatu's the only R-rated one I can think. That's the only one I can think of. Was there another one? Because Dune was PG-13. Yeah, they generally don't do them. They don't seem to be doing them for movies that are R-rated. Bring up someone, if someone in the chat, if you because I don't remember all of them. Yeah, Krypto plushies should be. I'm going to get as many of those. I need to get a good price on them because I want a bunch. All right, just going down. Yeah, he's got me, hook, line, and singer. So yeah, this nerd. I mean, he knows he's got me. He probably was sitting when they were sitting in the design of this. That asshole in Vegas. I'm gonna call him on his bluff. He said he's been waiting for this for his adult life, and now he's got. They know there's no way I can pass up that giant Galactus head with those light up eyes. They know. And they know there's some of us out there that can justify getting that. I like that you can't pre-order buckets. Bring your ass to the good. Yeah, well, that's the point. Yeah, that's literally, the best strategy for all of them. Get people out to the movies, and make some extra money. All right. Let's see, the original for Feige. Good point. There you go. That one I think is a little bit, that's a very R-rated movie, but that one I think is because they knew that,
a lot of parents who are bringing their kids into it.
Yeah. Even though I'm not
shouldn't,
but they also knew that the amount that they made, that those were going to sell out. I mean, no, it was sold out. Those, like I said, me, Rhea, and Phil got to the movie theater just in time for me to get the propeller head one, but everything else was gone, and that was as it was opening on Thursday. So I don't think they made a lot of the because that was at the beginning of all of this, to where they couldn't really predict how many of them, but I think they knew if they made a certain amount, that they were safe in selling those. Because I got like 3 of the Nosferatu ones. I don't know what Megan 2.0s will look like. But I don't see a Mortal Kombat one. But then another thing, I don't know. Look at the now. You're also looking at the success rate of these movies, though, and the projected success rate. I don't know where you're going with Mortal Kombat. And this is not just me making fun of it, but the first one was day and date, and I don't see it being the kind of movie that was, that's going to bring that kind of traffic. The Mortal Kombat is not bringing Superman or Deadpool traffic. It's not even bringing Dune traffic. So who's buying your bucket? I'm surprised Thunderbolts got one because you had a bunch of D-listers in there, and it's a nice one. But I can get it anywhere you want. I mean, I walked up. I was at AMC last week, and the Thunderbolt Cadillac, Red Guardian's Cadillac, is still sitting there. So you don't want to have that happen either. Let's see, Krypto bobblehead for your call. Oh, yeah, they got. I mean, they're gonna have all that kind of stuff. Gladiator 2 had our Gladiator 2. Once again, we're talking about a movie. Yeah, it's R-rated, and so there are some. But if you notice, you guys, all the R-rated ones that you brought up were movies that they knew were going to have a lot of traffic to them. You're not seeing, you're not seeing what's a movie that didn't do. You're not seeing that Counting 2. Popcorn bucket because they don't think anybody's going to go see the movie.
I mean, that's going to be like a chalkboard with like trigonometry on it.
So yeah, Krypto costume for chihuahuas. I want Krypto costumes for humans. Hey, also listen, you bring your dog dressed as Krypto, I'm going to hook you up with seats to our screening. If you bring your grown ass down to the Sci-Fi Center dressed up as Krypto, I'm going to hook you up. I'll make that promo later on. I think it's partial. I think that's part of the reason because in general, certain rated R movies they're already got a limited audience to begin with. But when you're talking about movies, the ones that you've listed off or people have listed off, those are ones that they knew they just had to open their hands and count the money. They knew that they were going to have the traffic for Deadpool Wolverine. They knew they were going to have the traffic for Nosferatu. They knew that they were going to have the traffic for Gladiator 2. You're talking about movies that were making $400 and $500 and $600 million. You're not. I don't. Mortal Kombat is not only an R-rated gore fest, but it's not going to have the traffic. They might add blood to the popcorn. That's what to. I don't know. Listen, guys, maybe they will do a Mortal Kombat. I don't think they're going to. I don't see it, but who knows? No, I'm not underestimating Mortal Kombat fans. I am probably accurately estimating where the studios and the people who pay for the licensing are putting it. So yeah, they may have some rabid fans, but are as the studio or the theater chains. It's the theater chains that are going to put up the money to the studios for this. So yeah, great fan base, but it's as somebody going to license because they're paying for this. Regal is paying for this. AMC is paying for this. The right to have this. So are there? If the theater chains they're going to know their traffic trends. If they don't think that the traffic trends are there, are they going to do this? I mean, it's a good question. What did that movie do? Just 400? Mortal Kombat again. We're not talking about the 1990. Was that 2021? What Mortal Kombat are you talking about, Antonio? The Mortal Kombat I'm talking about that the sequel is coming out for had a budget of $55 million and it made $84 million. So it was profitable, but are you doing popcorn buckets for that kind of traffic? It's a legit question. Yeah, rest in peace, Brian Wilson. Which is not hilarious. But the first song, there's a group called Bare Naked Ladies. If you watch The Big Bang Theory, they do the theme song. They're a famous Canadian band. Very first song I ever heard from Bare Naked Ladies was Lying in Bed, Brian Wilson's Dead. Brian Wilson, this is back in 1997 I heard this song. Brian Wilson was very much alive at the time, so it was hilarious. And this was like almost 20 some odd years later that he finally passed away today. But yeah, he was a legend. So yeah, right, rest in peace. Yeah, I mean, 84 million. Oh, I don't see popcorn buckets for that kind of traffic. But hey, I'm not here to be right. I'm going to see the Unholy Trinity this week with Pierce Brosnan and Sam Jackson. It's a Western that looks really good. Okay, let me know how it is. Power Ranger anything is going to be huge. Even if they make movies that people don't agree with sometimes. And, I didn't think the last one was bad. I just didn't feel like it was a Power Ranger movie based on my experiences. But that's different. Everybody's different. It doesn't matter. Power Ranger shit still sells. You get a White Ranger, a Green Ranger one. People will be fighting in the aisles over that shit, dude. If you were to make a White or Green Ranger one now, you better have enough to sell, because those I think would sell very well. Those dude. That would have been that's like an emotional thing. You can make a Power Ranger movie that he's not even in and make that that I would buy that bucket. A Green Ranger bucket, I'd buy that bucket. And I know a lot of Power Rangers fans throughout the 30 some odd years have supported that brand thick or thin. A lot of it was David Frank was in my opinion, that guy did the heavy lifting when the franchise should have been dead. It's around, in my opinion, I may be over exaggerating. I truly believe that they survived some really rough times when all toys were cycling themselves out because of him. So you wouldn't even need to make the rest of the ones. You do it, yeah, because you make more money. But a Green Ranger popcorn bucket, I'll take it. A White Ranger popcorn bucket, I think those things would sell out, even if whatever movie that they put out sucked, wouldn't matter. Has anybody been in the pet store and seen the merch? I did. I actually went into I think it was Petco. Yeah, they got the biscuits there.
On Droga.
They got the biscuits there.
Now he's got one now he sent me one that probably qualifies as blackface.
No, we're not putting it up.
Okay, well, he put Sam Jackson's face on my head. No,
nope, we're not doing that.
And the thing is, these don't even like scare me anymore like they used to. It's like I've seen so many of them. It's like, okay, now it's just like, okay, what do you put there next?
All right, you're talking about popcorn bucket for Mortal Kombat. Okay, I don't know, maybe not get that. Then not that. I ain't buying it. I'm just referring to the movie. Yeah, like I said, the movie was profitable because they didn't spend any money on that. They spent no money. We gave away tickets to go see Mortal Kombat. I didn't go to the screening, but yeah, we they didn't spend, so it was profitable and it was COVID, so I give it that, but it wasn't a good movie. Yeah, dude. Somebody was asking me today. I think OKC's in trouble. Indiana won that game far too easy. Indiana took a at will, took a 68 win team, just said, fuck it, you're losing this game. It was like they were neck and neck and they were doing their thing. And then all of a sudden it was like Indiana looked at their watch and said, we got other shit to do. We're going to just go ahead and beat. And they did it. They cruised in that fourth quarter. So yeah, I think OKC's in trouble. Beach Boys forever. Like I said, not my genre. I don't have to like your genre to understand what you mean in music. And Brian Wilson, the Beach Boys, I do from like years and years ago. Yeah, well, you had a lot of things going against
it. Also had the day and date, and by the way, it was months earlier than if anybody brings up the Suicide Squad. They give that excuse. This was months earlier before there was a vaccine, widely out there.
Mortal Kombat made 84 million because, and this is my belief. Sorry, Mortal Kombat fans, it just wasn't a very good movie. In fact, it was a bad movie with some really beautiful stuff in it.
The beginning and the end.
Yeah. It wasn't completely a waste of time. There's some really cool stuff in it, but as far as a movie, I could have literally just put that in a video game reel, and it would have saved me time.
Again, so all they see. I think they're taking that to heart. It's like, okay, we just have to make the next one like the beginning, the end. Just make that whole thing like that now, and actually put them in the tournament too.
Yeah, because that movie wasn't good. I wasn't looking, I wasn't looking for anything special out of it. But yeah, you got to realize Godzilla versus Kong came out before any of that, and they found the way to make money. So
Well,
I don't. A lot of the built-in excuses about Mortal Kombat, yeah, they're there, but I think it comes down to the fact that this was a bad movie.
Plus, also, I mean, we just when Godzilla versus Kong came out, it's like that was like almost exactly a year from when COVID starts. And the joke I tell is like, what for the like society collectively, like what could be more cathartic after that than watching the lizard, the chimp beating the shit out of each other?
Yeah. All right. Oppenheimer's bucket, and I never really got a chance to see this up close and to see if it was even real. But from what I understood, because I wanted to try to get one, that got commissioned after the Barbenheimer hype, if I'm not correct. And at that point, you could feel that movie wasn't not going to be a foreign. And even then, Oppenheimer without Barbie would have been like a $400-500 million movie.
Which is really good.
That's
for like
still a lot of money for
a movie about a dude who made the atomic bomb. Yeah.
So once again, we're bringing up an R-rated movie, but we're also bringing an R-rated movie that the somebody investing in something like that can say there's going to be enough traffic for me to sell this. No, because once again, she's not family friendly. Do you hear some of the shit that woman says? I'm surprised she gets away with some of the innuendo and some of the stuff she does. Listen, I don't, as a grown man, I'm fine, but I'm surprised Tony's just like, you know what, fucking do whatever you want, because she does some really risky stuff, and some of the stuff she says on air, I'm like, wow, okay. I mean, but people love her. I don't know. I'm afraid. What's her problem? Is it gonna be the shoe she throws? You know what it should be? It should be her, but when you turn it, it's black and white. You can have a lot of fun. I do wrestlers with popcorn buckets, man. Let's see. But thank you for the $2 super chat, Rational.
I never saw that one though. Was it just like a mushroom cloud or what?
I think it was the bomb aimed downward or aimed upward with the legs. Hold on, let me bring it up, because I didn't think it was real at first. Yeah, it was this one right here. It was a 3D printed one. It's this one. Well, see, I don't even know if this was one. I know there was one, but hold on. Let's see. Because the price was $19.45. Yeah, see, I don't even know if this one was real, because I only see the the 3D one. So yeah, I don't see the I don't see the one that I see the one that people were talking about, but I don't think that was real. I know there was one though, but I can't find it because they did commission it when they realized it was going to go. William Accountant, 2 other popcorn bucket is the shape of a trailer. Yeah, that's hilarious. Are you being serious right now, Rational? That'd be hilarious. I would buy that, because I rather enjoyed that movie. Oh, could you imagine Doja Cat as a wrestler? Man, dude, guys would flock over her. She has no fear. She's in that video. She's in that video for F1. Dude, she's naked. Covered in oil on top of a car engine with the oil coming in, and I'm like, she does not care. Say, fuck it. Is there one?
Yeah. He Rational Skip just sent to me. So
for what's for the accountant?
For the accountant, yeah.
Okay, is this real? No. I don't. Just because I just saw one for Oppenheimer that looks exactly like this. Is this real though? Because there's a bunch of mock-ups. I mean, I'm not saying you're lying or nothing, but I just looked at the Oppenheimer one that has this same thing on it, and I think it was 3D printed. Can you? Oh, I was going to say read the printing, but Rational. Oh, you know what? We can go on. I'll go on AMC's site later because
Well,
that's
Larry,
kind of neat.
yeah, Larry says he says legit.
So you saw it. So why didn't they?
Yeah, I never saw this. My
Yeah, why wouldn't you advertise that? There's probably like 10 of them out there because you know you're not making a lot of money with that movie. You know you're not going to generate a lot of traffic with that movie. So,
we're like relatively speaking. I mean, they're going to do account.
Yeah, I
money,
mean, you know, they're going to do
And they-
account
and-
money, but are you doing to the point where like how many buckets do you make?
Like if Superman makes what the Accountant 2 makes, then you might as well close DC Studios the next day.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. Well, that's probably what they got to be real careful because a lot of these guys aren't going to want. They're not going to. These theaters are not going to want to have them left over. I mean, they'll start discounting them and shit. You don't want to do that. So. All right, guys, I got to go eat and I got to go do some stuff because I got to go grab some merchandise tomorrow. Some more pop figures and shit at the store. Oh, by the way, here we go. For those of you that are in the Las Vegas area, tomorrow is Friday the 13th. And if you come down to the store, while supplies last, that's all my caveat. While supplies last, you can get your own tiny little Jason Voorhees hockey mask. It's about this big. And there they are. So while supplies last, come on down to the center and get yourself a little itty bitty. Let me find the to show you how big they are. Hold up. Because the guy who made them for me has them in his hands. There we go. Let's look at this. There you go. That's how big they are. So come on down, grab one, have some fun. Probably will be doing like we said. I think we're gonna do the original Friday the 13th. After I get done, may do it from the store depending on if I'm on Junkie and how. I mean, obviously we'll be talking Superman trailer and stuff and that. So I may stay the whole time. Or I may just do the watch party from the store. I've done that before. So.
What?
All right. Everybody saying tomorrow. Yeah, because it's 121. I've actually did the stream.
Still feels late. It always feels like tomorrow, even when it's nighttime, but it's past midnight. Yeah.
Yeah. I might save you one, Ray, but hey, they might run out. So all right, guys. That's it. Gotta go eat, gotta go sleep, gotta go watch some highlights, and then yes.
with you there, Ray, definitely.
Yes, she got me one. I have it. It's not for sale. I bet offers for it, and then it's staying at the top of my staying at the top of my Batman signal. So, all right, guys. We will see you tomorrow night, probably with the show that I probably was going to do tonight. And like I said, I don't foresee any other news derailing that. But like I said, this came out today, and I flipped the coin and said, I figured, should we let's get it out of the way. Because like I said, the discourse that comes along with anything coming out with this movie has just been shitty. So unless we can control the conversation here, which we did. Okay, like, subscribe, share. See you tomorrow.
See you guys.